What if the biggest secret in Disney history has already been decided, locked away, and hidden from every single fan on the year, and only one person on Earth knows the truth? Kylie Cantrall walked into a room, sat down in front of Disney executives, and was told something so shocking that she says it completely blew her mind. She made a promise never to reveal it. But she also said something else, something that changed everything. The answer to who Red's father really is ties into the Descendants franchise in a way nobody saw coming. Today, we are digging into every clue, every hint, and every theory surrounding this mystery, because Descendants 6 might be closer than anyone realizes, and the identity of Red's father could reshape this entire universe. For years, Descendants fans have been asking one simple question that Disney refused to answer. Who is the father of Red and Pink? It sounds like a small detail buried inside a much bigger fantasy franchise. But the truth is, this mystery has quietly become one of the most talked about unanswered questions in the entire Descendants universe. And after the ending of Wicked Wonderland, it feels like Disney is finally getting ready to give fans the answer they have been begging for. Let's rewind for a second and remember exactly how Wicked Wonderland left things. The movie wrapped up its main storyline with Red and Chloe finally solving the pocket watch mystery that had been driving the plot forward. It felt like a complete, satisfying ending, the kind of bow-tied conclusion that closes a chapter, except Disney did not let the story rest there. In the final moments, the movie shifted gears completely and introduced a brand new mystery involving Red's little sister, Pink. She is shown holding a strange glowing jewel, and right beside her sits a box labeled with the words Pink and Red's Treasures. Then, in a moment that fans are still talking about, Chess the Cat's daughter looks directly into the camera and says she hates happy endings, right before teasing that there is so much more story left to tell. That single scene sent the fandom into an absolute frenzy online, and it is a huge reason why Wicked Wonderland became one of the biggest Disney releases of the entire summer. Now, here is the important part. Disney has still not officially confirmed a sixth Descendants movie. There is no trailer, no announced release date, no confirmed cast list for a new installment. But despite all of that silence, the signs pointing toward Descendants 6 keep piling up one after another, and once you start connecting them, it becomes very hard to believe this franchise is finished. The very first sign actually came months before Wicked Wonderland even hit screens. Back in December of 2025, Kylie Cantrall's own father appeared to confirm on social media that a sixth movie was already in development. This caught fans completely off guard, mainly because Disney itself had said absolutely nothing official at that point. Think about that for a second. A member of the cast's own family accidentally let slip information that Disney had not yet chosen to announce. That is not the kind of thing that happens by accident in the entertainment industry unless something is genuinely moving behind the scenes. Then, in June of 2026, everything escalated. Kylie Cantrall sat down for an interview and revealed something that immediately became one of the most shared stories in the entire fandom. She explained that Disney brought her into a private, secret meeting for one specific reason: to tell her who Red's father actually is. According to Kylie, the reveal completely blew her mind. She said it in a way that made it very clear this was not some minor detail. This was something big, something that had clearly been planned out carefully behind the scenes long before fans ever got a hint of it. Kylie made it clear she was not allowed to share the actual answer. She had promised to keep it a secret. But she did leave fans with one incredibly important clue. She said that whoever this mystery father turns out to be, the reveal ties into the franchise in a way nobody would expect. That single sentence alone is enough to send any longtime Descendants fan into a full-blown theory spiral, because it suggests the answer is not some random side character or throwaway reveal. It sounds like this connects to something much bigger, something that has probably been quietly built into the story from the very beginning without most fans even noticing. So, Naturally, the internet did what the internet always does. Fans immediately began digging through the franchise for clues, and theories have been spreading fast. One of the loudest theories going around right now points to the idea that Red and Pink's father could actually be a VK, meaning a villain-kid connection, rather than someone directly tied to the original fairy tale world audiences already know. If true, that would completely reshape how fans think about the Queen of Hearts storyline and her past. Another theory leans in a completely different direction, pointing toward Wonderland, lore itself, and suggesting the father could be connected to a character straight out of Alice in Wonderland, someone whose presence would tie Red's origin story directly back into the world the franchise has been building since Rise of Red. Neither of these theories has been confirmed. Nothing about this has been confirmed, but the fact that fans can build multiple believable theories out of small hints shows just how carefully Disney seems to be laying groundwork for something much bigger. It is not just Kylie Cantrall dropping hints either. Descendants executive producer Suzanne Todd has also spoken about this mystery, and while she made it clear she was not personally present for the secret meeting where Kylie learned the truth, she revealed that she already had that knowledge long before Kylie was even told. That detail matters a lot. It confirms that the identity of Red's father is not some idea being casually tossed around. It is something that has already been decided at a production level, locked in, and treated with an unusual amount of secrecy for a franchise aimed at younger audiences. When asked directly whether a future Descendants movie would finally reveal the identity of this mystery man, the response strongly suggested fans are going to get exactly what they have been hoping for. It sounds like Disney is fully aware fans want this answer, and it sounds like they are planning to deliver it. On top of all of this, the cast themselves have been dropping their own hints about what they want to see if a sixth movie happens. Liamani Segura, who plays Pink, has openly said she would love to see her character explore a darker, more evil side, hinting that Pink's story could take a much bigger turn than fans currently expect. She also mentioned wanting to step outside of Wonderland entirely and explore new territory, specifically bringing up Neverland, the home of Peter Pan and Captain Hook. Other cast members have echoed similar excitement about expanding the world beyond where Wicked Wonderland left off, which only adds more fuel to the idea that Descendants 6 is being seriously discussed behind the scenes, even without an official announcement yet. Now let's talk about what all of this actually means when you put every piece together. Pink's glowing jewel from the ending of Wicked Wonderland remains the biggest open thread heading into any future installment. That jewel was never explained. It was simply shown, teased, and left hanging in the air as a mystery for fans to obsess over. Combine that unresolved jewel storyline with the still unconfirmed identity of Red's father, and it starts to feel like Disney is not just teasing one small twist. It feels like they are quietly building toward a much bigger reveal than any single movie in this franchise has delivered so far. This is not just a side mystery anymore. It is starting to look like the emotional core of wherever this story goes next. There have also been some early reports circulating about what Descendants 6 could actually explore, although none of this has been officially confirmed by Disney. Some reports suggest the sixth movie could be set before the events of the current trilogy entirely, following Red and Chloe as they experience something completely ordinary, something neither of them ever expected to deal with. If true, that would be a fascinating shift in tone compared to the time-traveling chaos that defined the last two films. Instead of chasing another twisty, high-stakes adventure, this approach could slow things down and give fans a more grounded look at these characters before diving back into bigger mysteries. There is also unconfirmed talk floating around suggesting production could begin sometime in 2027, with speculation about filming locations being debated between Ireland and Canada. Again, none of this has been confirmed directly by Disney, so it is worth treating all of it as early buzz rather than something locked in stone. But even early buzz like this rarely appears out of nowhere, especially for a franchise that has stayed this quiet on an official level. So now for the part everyone actually wants to know. As of right now, Disney has not officially greenlit or announced Descendants 6. There is no confirmed release date. There is no confirmed cast list. There is no confirmed plot synopsis. Everything discussed here comes from interviews, hints, unconfirmed reports, and careful reading between the lines. However, unverified reports do point toward production potentially starting sometime in 2027, which, going by how this franchise has typically moved from filming to actual premiere in the past, would likely put a realistic release somewhere around 2028 at the earliest. Here is why all of this matters so much to longtime fans of the franchise. Descendants has always been built around family, identity, and the idea that where you come from does not have to define who you become. The mystery surrounding Red and Pink's father fits perfectly into that theme. It is not just a random plot twist thrown in for shock value. It feels like the natural next step in Red's entire character arc, especially after everything she has already been through trying to understand her mother's past as the Queen of Hearts. If the identity of her father really does tie into the franchise in an unexpected way, as Kylie Cantrall hinted, it could completely change how fans view Red's entire journey from the very first movie all the way through Wicked Wonderland. It also raises bigger questions about where this franchise is heading as a whole. Is Disney setting up an entirely new storyline centered around Pink and her mysterious jewel? Is Red's father someone fans have already seen on screen without realizing the connection? Could this reveal tie back into classic Wonderland lore in a way nobody has considered yet? Every theory currently circulating online is built on tiny fragments of information carefully pieced together by a fandom that clearly is not willing to let this mystery go unanswered. What makes this whole situation even more interesting is how deliberately Disney seems to be handling it. They are not confirming anything outright, yet they are allowing cast members to drop just enough information to keep the conversation alive. That is not an accident. That is a strategy. Franchises do not typically let actors tease unresolved mysteries, this specifically unless there is a clear plan already in motion behind the scenes. The silence from Disney combined with the very specific hints coming from the cast suggests we are watching the early stages of a much bigger reveal being carefully built up before an official announcement ever happens. For now, all fans can do is wait, theorize, and pick apart every new interview for the smallest possible clue. The mystery of Red and Pink's father has officially become one of the most anticipated reveals in the entire Descendants franchise, and based on everything currently being teased, it feels less like a question of if this gets answered and more a question of when. Given everything currently pointing toward a sixth movie, from Kylie Cantrall's secret meeting to her father's early confirmation, to the producer's own comments, to the unresolved Jewel storyline left hanging at the end of Wicked Wonderland, it genuinely feels like Disney has already mapped out exactly where this story is heading next. They are just waiting for the right moment to pull back the curtain. As always, we will keep a close eye on every new update, every interview, and every hint that comes out about Descendants 6. And the moment Disney makes anything official, you will hear about it here first. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this unfolding mystery, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on, because based on everything we have covered today, it looks like the biggest reveal in Descendants history could be closer than anyone expected.